Hello good people of YouTube, Slava Ukraini. This is my weekly review, more so forecast now for next week for the futures contract of oil, CL. So last week I think, also I'm wearing this thing because my hair is just unruly and I didn't want to deal with that. Yeah, so last week actually was pretty good guidance. You know, I had a sense that there's some bearish moves that might happen and it ended up working out. This is my little description here of what I thought would happen. So that was a pretty good guidance. Don't need that anymore. So that was a pretty good guidance. I did have a hard time when it kind of bounced in this area, even though I was thinking that it could bounce there, and that was one of my scenarios. Still switching my mind that way was a little bit difficult. Nonetheless, so what we ended up with is it almost tested the negative 150 extension of the prior week's price range. So this is that 150 extension. It almost got there, but didn't. And instead it bounced, kind of found support, or at least it was in line with this lower line support of this down channel, and then also retested and stayed above this down channel here, which I had previously created. And it also came back above this low that was here on the continuous contract. It's a little bit further above. Sorry, my charts are really hard to view, but what I'm trying to show here is that this purple line here, you can see that price kind of went further above there. So generally speaking, I think this next week is just going to be a little bit more rangy, potentially not as clean trading, because I think it's, at this point in time, I'm not seeing why it would come back and test this low. Having said that, because there is a, actually before I get to that, and then the other contrast in contract, so this is the current contract, and you can see that it actually went back in to the green channel here, and that makes it harder. So and then also we're doing the rollover, right? So that's going to have its own scenario. So if it was like this also on the current contract and bounced here, I'll be like, great, we're going to see more bullish moves. But because here it's still kind of in this strange contentious area where it's in this down channel still, it makes me less thrilled with the potential of the bulls. But yeah, I think the bears had more, could have possibly gone down a little bit more, at least hit the negative 150 extension, and they didn't. So yeah, I feel like it's kind of up in the air, and then all these lines are going to be shifted around with the contract rollover. So some potentials, even though I do think that it might test up, I'm thinking maybe tomorrow and Tuesday might be some bullish moves, and in that case, I just don't think that, I just don't think they can follow through all the way. I think there might be a good bullish move, and then I think there might also be a good bearish move, because usually when the contract rolls over, there is a pretty good sell-off at some point. So maybe it does retest this area, but I'm thinking it actually might be more of just a rotation in this channel, and that's kind of what I'm looking for. Now, you can see on the current contract that we have this 50 SMA here that has to be tested, and it's kind of acting as resistance at the moment. And we'll see if it can get above. If it can get above, then we have the 4 hour on the continuous contract. And as you can kind of see here, every single time it hit it, it was just a good sell-off point. So it's primarily stayed underneath for a while. it had some obvious tests up here and couldn't make it, but because we just weren't as bearish as I thought we were going to be, I just don't know if I'm going to take this as a really solid short, as obviously prior you could take it. So if it comes and tests back up there, I might not even touch it, which is strange because you can see it's usually been a really good sell-off point. So we'll see. What else is there to mention? Yeah, I think that's kind of it. I'm not totally sure I know where it's going to be going, so to speak. Not that anybody knows anything, but I didn't put in the weekly lines yet. This is prior weeks. I just don't think that it's going to test the negative 150 extension to the downside or to the upside. It's just going to probably stay within last week's range, and maybe test a little bit above, which kind of sucks for trading, right? Because last week I had the bearish view and it was a lot easier to just take a plunge because I thought that it was just setting up really great for a bearish move. But now it's like, there's probably going to be a lot more testing. Don't know how it's going to react to SMAs. So we'll see. We'll see. But yes, I still think there might be one good bearish move and one fairly good bull move. But I'm not necessarily expecting a whole lot of follow through for the most part. So we'll see. I don't know. I hope you guys have a great trading week, and I will see you next week. Bye!